Every college campus has its legends. The haunted dorm room on the third floor. The professor who died in the library and never left. The road you're not supposed to walk alone after dark. At my university, the legend was this. On the 15th of every month, do not go near the old stone bridge in the abandoned village beside campus, because on that night, you might see something you can't unsee. I was 18 years old. I didn't believe in any of it. And then I walked across that bridge on the 15th. This was the fall of 2016. I was a freshman at a university in rural Virginia, one of those schools that sits far enough from the city that the surrounding area is mostly fields and old farmland. The university had been expanding, and the nearby villages had been largely bought out and demolished to make room for development. Most people were gone, the houses were torn down, but a handful of residents still lived there, and right at the center of what remained of the old village, there was an ancient stone bridge, built over a deep river, preserved as a historical landmark even after everything around it had been cleared away. I was introverted by nature. I spent most of my first months of college in the library. Everything was going smoothly until about my third month in, when things started to get strange. One weekend, my roommates dragged me to an off-campus dinner gathering near the old village. I went reluctantly. The location wasn't bad, but the conversation around the table was the kind I had zero patience for. Everyone going around talking about their 5-year plans, their startup ideas, their dreams of moving abroad. I sat there for about 20 minutes before I'd had enough. I stood up, said my goodbyes, and walked out the door. Right at the entrance of the restaurant, I ran into an upperclassman I knew, a guy everyone on campus called Senior Duke. He was 2 years ahead of me and the first person who'd ever helped me out at this school. On my first day, he'd helped me carry my bags all the way to my dorm room. He had this big, goofy personality that made everyone like him immediately. He spotted me and called out, "Hey, didn't expect to see you here. Where are you headed this late?" I told him I was walking back to campus through the village. His expression shifted immediately. "Tonight's the 15th, he said. The legend immediately crossed my mind. But honestly, all I wanted was to get back to campus as fast as possible. Going around the forest would add 40 minutes to the trip. No matter how much Senior Duke tried to talk me out of it, I wasn't budging. So, in the end, he decided he wasn't going to let me go alone. He sighed, shook his head, and fell into step beside me. "It's just an old village," I muttered as we walked. "Where are all these ghost stories supposed to come from?" Senior Duke didn't answer. He just walked a little closer to me. The village at night was something else entirely. Every house had been torn down, leaving just flat, dark ground and scattered debris on either side of the path. No lights, no people. Just that narrow road cutting through what used to be a community and now felt like the surface of the moon. We kept moving. Eventually, the stone bridge appeared ahead of us through the dark. It wasn't a large bridge, maybe 30 feet across. On a normal night, you could walk over it in under a minute. But tonight, thick fog had settled over the bridge entrance, wrapping around the railings, curling over the water below. It looked nothing like it did in daylight. I hesitated. Then I stepped forward anyway. 2 steps onto the bridge, we both stopped dead. In the fog, at the far end of the bridge, a shape appeared. A figure. White. Hazy at the edges like it wasn't entirely solid, semi-transparent, the kind of white that has nothing to do with clothing. Senior Duke grabbed my arm and whispered, What is that?" My first thought was that it was another person walking the same path. But the moment I thought it, I knew it wasn't. No human being looked like that. No human being was that color. Then it moved. The white figure stepped to the edge of the bridge railing and jumped, straight down into the river below. We both stood there waiting for the splash, the sound of impact, something. The river surface didn't move. Not a ripple, not a single disturbance. Completely flat and still, like nothing had touched it at all. Senior Duke grabbed the back of my jacket and ran. I don't remember deciding to run. I just remember running. Back down the path, back through the demolished village, back to the restaurant we'd just left. We didn't say a single word the entire way. That night, I took Senior Duke's advice and called my campus advisor to request an off-campus overnight pass. I stayed out until morning. I wasn't setting foot on that bridge again in the dark. I heard the rest of the story later from the guys in Senior Duke's dorm room. After that night, Senior Duke had nightmares every single night for a full week. In every dream, he was standing at the entrance of the stone bridge. And at the other end, just standing there in the fog, completely still, was that white figure. Watching him, never moving, never speaking, just watching. He told his roommates he'd wake up in the middle of the night drenched in sweat, heart pounding, unable to calm down for an hour. I never crossed that bridge on the 15th again. I don't know what we saw that night. I don't know whose story that white figure carried, or what kept it standing at the edge of that railing